So good afternoon again. As business owners, we are responsible for taking care of our future, right? So there is no employer that puts a plan for us, and we need to be responsible enough to do it for ourselves. So the speaker today will give you some tips and techniques on, she calls it 7 secrets for how the wealthy build wealth and keep it, which is important, I think. Our speaker is Shirlene Reeves, and Shirlene was born and raised in San Jose and graduated with a master's degree from UCSJ. Yeah. San Jose. She bootstrapped her own nationwide business and was a CEO for 17 years, with 23,000 working under her. Shirlene's passion is teaching others how to build a successful business, career, and lifestyle. She succeeded as manifesting her own success and is excited about sharing her tips and techniques with you Successful Thinkers members. So with that, first of all, I would like, if you can help us out so that the presentation will not be interrupted, if you can put your cell phones on silence or
manners mode.
Close them.
Manners mode.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, John. And so please help me welcome Shirlene Reeves.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Let's try it again. Wake up, everybody. Good afternoon. Much better. Thank you so much. I'm going to try and put this energy into what I'm going to talk to you about so that you'll be able to learn. I talk loud enough, and you'll be able to take something away with you. It took me a little time to put this together for you because I thought, all these people are business owners. I wonder what they need the most. So I'm going to ask you if this is what you need the most. Do you want to know how to build wealth?
Yes.
Sure.
How many of you want to learn how to build wealth? That's the majority of the room. Now, tell me, how many already know? Yay! So, guess what? You're all going to know, those of you who raise your hands, exactly what I'm going to tell you. But I'm going to ask you again at the end to tell me if you really did know or not. So, our first secret is manifesting your goals. Has anybody ever done that? Yes. Good. I love it. I love it. So I love this screen. Isn't it a trip? It kind of waves at you. Yeah. Anyway, manifest your goals. So I hope most of you wrote down your goals for the year in January. Did you all do that? Say yes. Yes. And you're all following your goals too, right? Yes. Because you want to make sure that you get there. Now the big question is, do you believe that you will reach them?
Absolutely.
Yes? How many people in here reached their goals already? Oh, then you made it too simple.
It's one of 5 steps.
One of 5 steps, okay. So you really didn't reach all your goals.
Not all of them.
But one, that's pretty good. Anybody else reach 1 out of all their steps? 1 more. How many steps do you have?
6.
6. Okay, did you do your first goal? Is that the one that you did first?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So the major thing about manifesting your dreams, your goals, or your wishes is that you truly believe in what it is that you want to manifest. So if you truly believe in it and it feels right to you, that's probably the right goal, dream, or wish, right? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Stay with me, people. Don't leave me up here by myself. Okay, so you have to believe, and you have to put a lot of energy behind it. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to do this, and you think about it for 15 minutes. What you have to do, and what I did as a CEO for 17 years, I ate, breathed, and slept my business every day for 17 years. And I grew it and grew it. It started out with only me, and then, and what it was a document signing company. And what happened was the title company said, oh, I want you to do our whole area, our whole actual county. And I thought, how am I the only one that's going to do it? And it was during a time when we had refi mania. Does everybody remember that time? When the banks would just take on anything and they never even thought twice about who they were refining with. But what happened was, over time, I was able to take on more and more people, and I was able to help them receive my belief. So I ended up with 23,000 people outside and 15 employees inside. So it was a really big accomplishment over a 17-year period of time. And I truly believed that I could accomplish that goal because I had seen somebody else do it already. There was only one other person that was as big a company as mine was. And I followed him, and I looked at his, and that's a thing, always find a mentor. But I looked at his prototype. For me, it was a prototype, and said, how can I make this better? And then I actually believed that I could do it. And I said it time and time and time again. And when I was sitting in the hot tub, I was thinking about the business. When I was out doing dinner with friends, I was thinking about the business. So you have to put a lot of energy behind it if you really want to get there. So, have you ever dreamed that you'd be successful and wealthy? Yes? No? Yes? Yes. Okay. So, here's the thing. If you aren't successful and wealthy at this time, then just be happy, excited, and confident that you're going to reach that goal of becoming successful and wealthy. Some people say, I don't even know how to do it. I don't know how to get there in the first place. But the wealthy know. They all know how to get there. And one of the ways is to believe, even if you can't see anything on your radar screen for how you're going to get there, if you believe that you can get there, the universe will line that up, and then suddenly somebody will come into your life and teach you how to do it. So, first you got to ask for what you want. If you wrote your goals down, did you ask for what you wanted? Did you actually say it out into the universe? How many have done that? Not many of us. Okay, so you want to say it out into the universe. You want that feeling to really, really move out so that you can get the help that you need. So Napoleon Hill said, whatever the mind can believe, it can achieve. Earl Nightingale, you become what you think about most of the time. And that's why I said, eat, sleep, and breathe it all the time. And the last thing, Wayne Dyer, he's one of my favorites. I used to live right near Wayne Dyer over on Maui. And I saw him a great deal at the time. And he says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. That's my favorite quote. Now, Einstein. I have a healthy respect for Einstein because I don't think I've ever even read anything from a person that knows as much as Einstein knew. So he said, thoughts are things. Thoughts are actually a vibration that you put out into the universe. So if you set your goal and you're excited about your goal and you're really going for your goal and then you go, but I don't know how I'm going to get there. Guess what? That is a thing that you thought and you sent that out into the universe. So what you did essentially is block yourself from receiving whatever that goal is that you wanted to receive. Now I should tell you too, if you want to manifest something, it has to feel good in here. If it doesn't feel good in here and you're doing some kind of work that doesn't feel good in here, or you're around somebody that doesn't feel good in here, that's your warning system going off telling you not to be there, not to do that thing. That's not your goal. But if you feel good inside, like I feel really good inside speaking to you right now. I'm enjoying interacting with all of you. And I feel good inside, so I know this is the right thing I'm supposed to be doing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good job. Okay, so Einstein says thoughts are physical particles you send out into the universe. So people, be careful what you say. You know, if you're a negative type person and your friends are telling you you're a negative type person, by all means, get a rubber band and start snapping it on your wrist so you stop that. I can't tell you how many rubber bands I've handed out to people. And you know, they always come back and say, hey, that works. That really works. So you can actually transmit and define your own destiny as long as you have prolonged, intense thoughts. Okay? What?
The light went out.
Question?
No, your screen.
Oh, the screen went out.
Thinking the screen.
I get my helper. So you can have, don't tell me the bulb went out. That'd be quite a Okay. So the wealthy actually create a burning desire, like I was saying, a burning desire to become debt-free and focus on building and maintaining family wealth. That's what they do. That's why they stay wealthy. And they actually have special books in their home that guide people through that are actually within their level of people, so to speak. But none of us are ever taught any of this in school, right? We don't ever, nobody ever tells us how to become wealthy and how to stay wealthy. At least I never heard that in school. Did anybody? No, I didn't think so. What's going on
They
there?
were well, and they probably would be in school teaching them.
That's right, exactly right. So what's happening? Okay. Okay, so if you want to build a solid foundation, a solid financial foundation, does anybody know how to do that? I think you all kind of know each step, but you may not know what order the steps go in. So the first thing is you have to be able to have a strong, positive cash flow, right? Because if we don't have a cash flow, how are we going to put gas in the car? How are we going to be able to eat? How are we going to do any of that without a strong cash flow? And sometimes I'll sit down and I ask people, how's your cash flow? And they go, oh, my 401k, I'm just funding it like crazy. Or how's your cash flow? Oh, my kid's 403b, that's going really well. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is money coming in. How does your cash flow look? Number 2 is protection. You just want to make sure you have your car insurance and all your insurances that you need, so if something drastic happens, you make sure that you're covered and your family's covered. Number 3 is debt management. If your cash flow is less than your debt, you got a problem, right? Big problem. So that's always number 3. And number 4 is an emergency fund, because if we have problems, we got to go to the dentist and we don't have any dental insurance, or we have a car problem, and like I had to put my car in the other day and it cost me $1,400. $1,400, and they only had it for 6 hours. Can you believe that? And if I hadn't had emergency fund, that would have been a big problem for me, but I did. And then the last thing is long-term savings. Long-term savings is kind of funny because people tend to put that first, because they go to work somewhere and they say, oh, you got to do this 401k. Well, what about the cash flow? What about the emergency fund? What about the debt? But they think that it's a great idea to put it in the 401k, and it is in some cases, but not if you didn't do it in the right order. So remember, Einstein says thoughts are things. So just make sure that you're positive and that you've got your structure laid out well, so that you know where you're at. And you can, it doesn't matter who I talk to, everybody fits into one of those places. You know where you're weak. And if you know where you're weak, then you know where to work, right? Okay, Marianne? All right, this is kind of fun. If you have a piece of paper, I want to show you something. This line right here represents a lifespan. So I just put 45 over there because I think everybody in this room is 45, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
I know I am. 45 with 2 little grandchildren. Anyway, so if you draw your arrow like that and put your age on the left, the age that you are today. Let's see who's doing it. Who can I use as an example? Come on up. Thank you for volunteering.
That's not 45.
Yeah.
I'm 22.
You're 22.
Yeah, 22.
Okay, Scott, let's come over here. 32. Okay, so you're 32. So what year, how old do you want to be when you retire?
32.
33.
It was really weird. I was thinking, and then I heard it from over there, and it was
That
just like,
vibration.
I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know how I did that.
That was good. Thoughts are things, remember? Okay, so you're 32. You want to be how old when you retire?
I don't know. Maybe 65.
65. So then how many years is that?
30.
33 years.
33 years.
We'll help you
Is
out.
anybody keeping track of this for me? Somebody, 33. Okay, so the average in the U.S. lives to about 85 years old. The average person. That's pretty good, actually. So you've got 20 years there, right? Because that's exactly what you said.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you've got 20 years there, how much does it cost you to live every month, do you think?
About $5,000.
Okay, well, you're making this really easy for me.
Whoa, that was weird too. Oh my God.
How crazy is that?
Like you didn't see that, right?
This is
Okay,
weird. This is
so
weird.
if you need $5,000 a month, and you're gonna graduate, or you're gonna retire in 30, what did we say, 32 years, right?
33.
33 years, okay. So we're gonna have some inflation there too, right? So we really need to figure probably close to 7,000 would be my guess by the time he retires. So we're gonna take 7,000 and multiply that times 12. Can somebody do that for me? We all have calculators. How much is it?
84,000.
84,000.
You don't
Okay.
need to
So
calculate.
then hold that 84,000. Okay. So it's going to be for you when you retire. It's going to be 84,000 a year. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. But look at this. You have 20 years. So what is 84,000 times 20?
1.7 million.
1.7 million. Do you have that yet? Are you getting close?
He's got 33 years.
You suddenly got
I'm
very
still
quiet.
shocked. What did you say? 1.7.
1.7 million.
Not you do this every day, dude.
So he needs, this is an exercise for all of you. You can do it when you go home. He needs $1.7 million to retire.
Wow.
And
Whose water is this?
So if you need 1.7 million to retire and you're using most of the money that you make today just to live, where's that money going to come from? Not the government.
That's a good question.
government.
It's an eye-opener, right?
Yeah.
We never plan for our retirement. That's the point I'm trying to make. So if you guys do this little exercise yourself, you're gonna figure out how much money you need to be in retirement. And that's if you don't need any long-term care or anything. That's just to live. And you can say, oh, it's gonna be less expensive because he isn't gonna be using as much gas to go back and forth to work, right? How's that gonna work? The gas is going up with inflation too, right?
Electric car.
Electric car, there you go.
Tesla.
But then PG&E goes up.
Tesla, right?
Yes, so you've been great, thank you so much, Scott, I appreciate your help. But I think all of you got the point, right? Yeah. Everybody got the point? And you'll all remember this formula, right? If not, poor guy, you just got a real rude awakening. Okay, so here's another thing. We know to save early, all right? I'm gonna give you a little scenario here. Just say this person is, why don't you hit it again? There we go. Okay. So we have Mr. Start Early over here. He started saving when he was young, and he's saving about $300 a month, which is about $3,600 a year, right?
Yep.
And you know, he didn't have any family, and he had nowhere to put his money when he earned it, so he stuck it in here, and he saved $25,200. Now, this is compounding interest, all right? And with that $25,200, he made, by the time he was 48 years old, I don't know if you can see that, $128,361. So all he put in was $25,200. He made $128,361. Okay? Now this guy over here, I'm gonna step over here a minute. This guy over here, he was out playing around and partying and doing the college thing, right? So he didn't have any money that he saved in the beginning at all. And then what happened is he got married. Guess what?